Hey gamers, it's Axiom and I'm back with another build and another way to put some extra holes in your enemies. This time we're putting on our silencers and quietly mowing down our enemies with a Silent Killer build. Now I call this build Silent Killer, but it's known by other names too, and in this video that's what we'll be calling it, Silent Killer. A Silent Killer build takes some very specific skills, the Silent Killer and the Professional, both of which are found in the Ghost tree. Let's get started, shall we? Silent Killer is a 4th tier perk that when aced gives you 15% more damage, plus an additional 15% damage and a 20% chance to pierce enemy armor. Pretty sweet, right? 1 tier above that is Professional. Acing this perk gives you 8 more stability with silenced weapons and 100% faster snap zoom. You also gain 8 more accuracy and a 20% chance to pierce enemy armor with silenced weapons. With these perks, you can make some already very powerful guns even more powerful. You might be thinking though, but Axiom, silencers make guns less powerful. And you would be correct. However, some silencers, thanks to these perks, make their weapons far more powerful silenced and easily outweigh any losses associated with using a silencer. Let's start with the build. All the builds that I talk about here assume you have infamy, so if you don't have any infamy points, you may need to add some filler points here and there just to make it to the next tier. If this is the case, make sure you only add the minimum number of points necessary to reach the next tier. Alright, let's start by unlocking Ghost so this bad boy can get rolling. Go up here to Sprinter and go ahead and ace it. Go over here to Fast Hands and ace that one. Go ahead and ace Shinobi. Go over here to Cleaner and take the first rank of Cleaner. Now you've come to a point where you can kind of decide for yourself. If you want to use SMGs with this build, then you may want to consider going ahead and taking SMG Specialist. However, if you have no interest in using SMGs, then I would suggest taking Cat Burglar instead. For my build, I use Cat Burglar. You're now ready to unlock Silent Killer, so go ahead and take that and ace it out. And let's take the Professional. Alright, so you now have the main perks that you will need to run this build effectively. Unlike the last build I did, the Sociopath Melee one, this one has a little bit more freedom than that, so you can kind of do whatever you want to on this. The only thing I'll suggest that you not do is go really far into Enforcer, because shotguns aren't really that great for Silent Killer. So I'll show you a few options that you have in other trees and kind of tell you guys what's good and what isn't. So let's get to that. Alright guys, this is my preferred build for running Silent Killer. I go heavy into Mastermind and I go all the way up through there and I pick up Inspire. I also ace Gunslinger and I take 2 Doc Bags. That's the way that I support my team. I go ahead and take Kilmer as well, and you can kind of see how I've kind of worked my way up through the ranks here. I also take your standard abilities in Enforcer. I take Transporter, I take Underdog, and go ahead and ace that one out. And I also go ahead and ace Die Hard, and I take the first rank of Stun Resistance. In Fugitive, I take Thick Skin, and I take the first rank of Run and Gun. I like to play my Silent Killer light on his feet, so I go this way. So I can get a little bit more armor on my vest, and I can also run Grinder and keep my HP up. But I'll show you guys one more. Alright, so here's what a low concealment version of this build would look like. You can see I've gone up and I've taken all your standard perks that you would take for a low concealment build. I've also went ahead and taken Ace Swan Song on this build, so you can kind of see this one here. Enforcer looks like this. We have Ace Transporter, Ace Underdog, Ace Die Hard, and the first rank of Stun Resistance. And Mastermind looks like this. So this will be a low concealment version of the build. It's not the way I prefer to play it, but if you're out there and you want to play low concealment, then if you can finagle your weapons around to make this happen, then by all means do it. Alright, so now that we've got builds out of the way, from this point on, I'm going to be using the build I talked about first. So any references, anything like that, anything you see is using that first build. So let's look at some weapons that are really good silenced. One of the best candidates for Silent Killer is the R93 Sniper Rifle. Already a really powerful weapon, especially since the last balance update, this bad boy starts out with 294 base damage and high accuracy. Now if you go ahead and slap a silencer on that using the Suppress Barrel, you will see your numbers grow quite a bit. So let's go ahead and put that on there, right? We now have 367.2 damage, 96 accuracy, 48 stability. With damage this high, you can actually one-shot a shield on Death Wish through his shield if you get a headshot. So very, very powerful. You can pretty much one-shot any cop with a body shot with this thing. It is fabulous and wonderful and extremely powerful. Check it out. You can also go for the Nagant sniper rifle. It gets the same damage and same accuracy, but has a little less stability, but slightly faster rate of fire. Personally, I don't think the Nagant is anywhere near as good as the R93. Its ammo pickup seems a little bit lower and just has less ammo in general. So I don't really suggest the Nagant. I would stick with the R93, but it's there if you want to make that switch. The M308 is also an excellent candidate for Silent Killer, starting out with 168 base damage with 88 accuracy. Putting the silencer on this bad boy will bring that up to 214.6 with 100 accuracy and 72 stability. Pretty sweet. Of course, this also includes other mods, so keep that in mind that your numbers might vary just a little bit depending on what mods you put on there. When it comes to assault rifles, you can really silence any of them. They'll pretty much all pick up damage, accuracy, and stability with silencers. Personally, I like some of the AK rifles. They do really well, like the 762. It gets up to over 100 damage with high accuracy and stability. A lot of the rifles have been kind of nerfed a little bit since the last update, but they should be getting buffed up soon here in an upcoming patch. A kind of a surprise good weapon is the Eagle Heavy Rifle. So I have mine silenced already, and you can see how the numbers have grown with my Silent Killer. So I'm doing 109.3 damage with 84 accuracy and 84 stability. Pretty good. Pretty good. Another odd bedfellow for the Silent Killer perk is actually LMGs. LMGs do really well silenced. Several of the LMGs actually have suppressed barrels, like the Buzzsaw, for example, has its own suppressed barrel. You can see here that I have silenced mine. There aren't perks that apply directly to damage and accuracy bonuses on LMGs in this game, but if you use Silent Killer, you actually do pick up those bonuses, so it's a way to get a little bit more accuracy, a little more stability and damage onto your LMGs. You can see my Buzzsaw here does 48.6 damage, which is pretty good for an LMG. The KSP is also a good candidate with similarly high numbers. When it comes to secondaries in Silent Killer, you really cannot go wrong with the Deagle. The Deagle saw a huge boost in its damage after the last major weapon update. This will probably get nerfed some, but hopefully whenever you watch this, weeks from now, months from now, it'll still be good. So you can see my Deagle here has 238.7 damage, 100 accuracy, and 60 stability. If you use the Deagle at all, then you know that the ammo pickup rate on it is pretty damn good, and with damage that high, you can pretty much one-shot any cop with a well-placed shot to the face. So very strong weapon, very accurate. It's basically a pocket sniper rifle. So good. Let's take one moment to talk about silencers, because choosing your silencer is a lot less important now than what it used to be. So with certain weapons, you may have specific silencers to them. For example, I own the AK Car mod pack, so I have access to this one right here, the PBS suppressor. Now, when it comes to selecting it, you want to lose the least amount of other useful stats as you can. So, for example, some suppressors take a whole lot of your damage away. For example, let's go over here and we will check out the low profile suppressor. It takes 5 damage away and 22 threat. Now, we don't really care about threat, but the damage is something that we don't like. Really, you don't have to worry about the damage unless you're trying to get a low concealment build. Typically, the way it goes is that the more damage you lose on your suppressor, the better your concealment. So you can see here with the low profile, there is no concealment loss at a cost of 5 damage. Over here, we have the medium, we lose 3 damage and we lose 2 concealment. And bigger the better, we lose only 1 damage, we lose 3 concealment, but we gain 8 accuracy and 4 stability. We can also roll over here to the PBS and we can see we gain 4 stability at a cost of 5 concealment. You need to look very carefully at each weapon that you use and see which one is the best choice for your weapon. Generally speaking, you're probably going to want to pick the bigger the better when it comes to most of your weapons that would use the suppressor, but there are some exceptions to that rule. Shotguns are also an option, but just bear in mind that shotgun damage right now is kind of bad, and a lot of these suppressors take away a lot of damage. Like you hear, we have the barrel, which is silenced, but you lose 4 damage on it. It's the same for the Silent Killer suppressor. You lose a lot of damage. And last but not least, we're going to look at the pistols, because pistols are really one of your best weapons for Silent Killer. If you're just looking for something to silence your weapon and to gain the highest number of stats you can in terms of, like, you know, how good they are, then you want to go with the Jungle Ninja suppressor. You get 4 accuracy and 8 stability. If you're going for a low concealment build, then Jungle Ninja is not for you because you lose 5 concealment. You're better off rolling over here and picking up the size doesn't matter one because you lose 4 damage, but there's no concealment penalty. But again, I don't really recommend Silent Killer as low concealment, but there's some people who just swear by it. Here's the last one I want to show off because it's kind of goofy. So you guys know the Thanatos 50 cal, right? Starts out with a base of 2,900 damage. If you silence this thing, okay, so here, look, okay. Silencing this bad boy, okay, it costs you 80 damage, right? Like that, you lose that by silencing it. It looks ridiculous silenced, right? But let's go back here and look at the damage, okay? The damage with that thing silenced is 3,807 damage if you silence it. 100 accuracy and 40 stability. It's ridiculous the amount of damage this thing does. Just absolutely, completely bonkers. So just to kind of sum up the weapon side of things, you always want a suppressor that doesn't take too much damage away. And again, as long as it's suppressing your gun, it doesn't matter. Just get it suppressed so you get your nice little bonuses. When it comes to your perk deck, I recommend taking Grinder. Grinder is what I've always used with this build, and I really like it. You could go with Rogue if you're wanting a little bit more of a dodge build, or you could also go for Crook and get dodged that way. But I like it with Grinder. I think it holds up really, really well, and you'll be seeing gameplay with Grinder. So that's what I suggest. Speaking of gameplay, let's see how this thing operates in game, shall we?
shield less! Bulldozer!
So there you have it, guys. Hopefully this encourages you to experiment and try out Silent Killer. It's definitely one of my favorite builds to use, and I highly recommend it to everybody. So let me know what you guys think. This is Axiom of Good Time Gaming. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share if you like anything you saw here today. And remember to always have a good time gaming. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to see some more awesome Payday 2 content, then check out my solo run of the Diamond on Stealth on the left, and check out my tutorial build of a melee sociopath build on the right. Thanks a lot, guys.